I'm not sure anyone actually reads these super long posts, but if I don't write this out, I feel like I'm going to lose it. Seriously, I've been a lurker forever, never posted before, but I swear if I don't get this off my chest, I might start yelling at strangers in the Target parking lot. I'm not exaggerating. So, here it is, raw and messy. Because I need to know if I'm losing my mind, or if this is as bad as it feels. First, quick intro. I'm Joanna, 29 years old. I've got 2 kids, daughter's 7, son's 5. My husband, Hunter, is 31. We've been married for years, and while it hasn't been perfect, it's always been functional. Not some fairy tale, but manageable. We had our usual arguments about laundry piles, phone addictions, and who forgot the milk, just the typical chaos. Both our families live nearby, so they're often in our business. His family's more intrusive. Mine is the type to bring over homemade soup when I'm sick. Financially, we're stable, not rich, not struggling. Just average. Then, a month ago, Hunter started acting different, like suspiciously considerate. Not the kind of romantic guy from a movie change, but more like he was being calculated. He suddenly began waking up early, preparing breakfast for the kids, telling me to sleep in. He'd say, "You deserve some rest." This is a man who once claimed he didn't know how to use the toaster. I figured maybe he saw some motivational TikTok about being a better husband. I even told my sister Amber. She's a professional skeptic and said, "Maybe he's finally realized you're at your limit." I laughed, wanted to believe it was that simple. But then things got weirder. He told me not to worry about cleaning the house or buying groceries. "You chill," he'd say. Which sounds great, except it didn't feel right. This wasn't the guy I knew, the one who would do chores but complain the whole time. Suddenly, he was all zen, letting the kids stay up late, not caring how much I spent at Target. And yeah, I noticed he always had his phone, and now it was constantly on silent. He'd laugh at texts, but brush it off if I asked what was so funny. One time, I caught him singing along to some early 2010 song he used to hate. His mood? Suspiciously upbeat. This is someone who hated his job and groaned through every chore. I mentioned it to Amber again. She joked, "Maybe he's cheating." I dismissed it immediately. With who? He's always home or driving the kids around. He doesn't have time. But then I started thinking, if he's not having an affair, is he emotionally involved with someone? I didn't want to be that paranoid wife, but something felt off. It was like he was floating in some other reality. Then came the bombshell. Our daughter said something about Miss Alana giving them marshmallows at school. I asked who that was. She said Alana comes to her class sometimes and knows Daddy's favorite music. My son chimes in. She has purple hair and tattoos, and Daddy says that's cool. I asked Hunter who Alana was, barely looked up. Just a teacher's assistant. Don't overthink it. I tried letting it go. But something wasn't right. I texted another mom, asked if her kid knew an Alana. She said she'd ask around. Next day, no one's heard of her. That's when I started really watching. Hunter left the house more, said he had errands, new playlists, new vocabulary. He had a whole new energy, like he'd swapped personalities. After 10 years together, I know this man. This wasn't him. One Friday, I grabbed his keys to get soccer snacks, opened the glove box looking for his water bottle, and found a second phone, not his usual one. I powered it on, no lock screen. And there it was, messages, months' worth. From Alana Love. I saw photos, her and the kids at the playground, her in the car with Hunter, texts saying they couldn't wait for their weekend and how they were finally starting over, messages about telling me soon so they could be real. I felt like I was going to throw up. I took photos of everything with my phone. Just numb. One message had him saying, "She's too tired to notice anything," and "You make me feel alive." I wanted to scream, but the kids were inside, so I sat in the car, shaking, pretending nothing happened when he walked in smiling. Later, while he was in the shower, I sent him a text from his main phone. Found the phone, found the pictures, found the messages. "Congrats, you're the world's dumbest cheater." He didn't answer right away. When he finally did, it was classic deflection. "You always ruin everything." I was going to tell you when the time was right. I almost dropped my phone. He walked out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, casually asked if I wanted tea. I stared at him. Are you serious right now? He shrugged. Don't make this a scene. You made it a scene. You're always exhausted. You never listen to me. Because I do everything. You don't let me be myself. Yourself is a liar. You're being dramatic. I grabbed the burner phone, threw it on the kitchen counter. It bounced, hit the floor. He picked it up like it was a sock. I wanted to scream. I didn't. He brushed past me, shoulder-checking me like it was nothing. I shoved him back. He grabbed his keys and left. The kids were glued to the TV, didn't see anything. I messaged Amber. She said, "Bring the kids. Mom's here. We'll figure it out." I said no. I needed time. I needed air. I didn't cry. I just paced the kitchen, counted forks, like if I could stay in motion, this wouldn't all collapse. 2 hours passed, no call, no text. Then I got a message from a random number. You're making this harder than it has to be. I blocked it, called my mom. Can you come over? Of course. Should I bring anything? Just you. She showed up with cookies because of course she did. Sat at the table. Tell me. I laid it out. She didn't give advice, didn't push, just said, whatever you need, I'm here. I wanted to hug her, but I just sat there, still shaking. Then Hunter walked in, saw my mom, froze. This is private. Not anymore, she said. You're overreacting. I stood. You don't get to talk to me like that. You're ruining the kids' lives. You already did that. He tried to walk by. I stepped in front of him. He shoved past me. I shoved back. My mom stood. That's enough. He grabbed his jacket and stormed out. I didn't sleep that night. I just kept asking, how long? Why? I reread his messages, hoping something would click. Nothing made it easier. It was just him and her, pretending I didn't exist. Next morning, he was gone before we got up. Left a note. Need space. Don't do anything stupid. I laughed, like actual, full laugh. 2 stale granola bars later, I packed up the kids and messaged Amber. Coming over. My daughter asked, is Daddy coming? Not tonight. At Amber's, I floated through the day like a ghost of myself. She poured wine at noon. I showed her the pictures. She said, this is next level bad. I didn't say anything, just stared at my phone, scrolling again and again like I'd missed a clue. What are you going to do? She asked. I don't know, but I'm not letting him walk away like nothing happened. Good. Later, Hunter texted, when are you coming home? I didn't respond. He called. I didn't answer. Then another text. You're being childish. I replied, you don't get to say that. Let's talk. Talk to your girlfriend. No reply. That night, Amber told me, stay as long as you need. I nodded. The kids were giggling in the other room. I watched them and just felt done. Not heartbroken, not confused, just finished. I texted myself one thing so I wouldn't forget. Not this time. I mean it. So yeah, that's where I was mentally. Shocked, angry, but mostly numb. I wanted him to feel even a fraction of what I was feeling. I wanted him to realize he shattered the one person who always stood by him. I didn't want revenge. I wanted reality to finally slap him back. I didn't know what came next, but I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't letting this slide. Not anymore. The next morning at Amber's, I was running on fumes and caffeine. I used her laptop to change every password, email, bank, streaming, even the delivery apps. I didn't trust him not to pull something petty. I wasn't ready to completely nuke everything. But the more I looked at the messages, the more I felt like setting fire to every part of his comfort zone. So I did something quiet but effective. I froze our joint bank account. Not illegally or in a dramatic way. I just pulled my half and told the bank we were separating. Standard procedure. I left enough for bills. I wasn't trying to hurt the kids. I moved my money to a new account. Amber asked if I was sure. I told her I was done funding flowers for someone else's romance. I didn't tell Hunter right away. I wanted to see if he'd notice. Instead, I just texted him to say the kids were fine and with me, that if he wanted to call them, he could. Silence. For hours. Then, suddenly, Bam! Dozens of missed calls, voice notes, a mix of apologies and angry rants. You're taking this too far. You're overreacting. You're punishing me for being unhappy. I replied with one sentence. Talk to your girlfriend. He sent back a thumbs up emoji. I nearly threw my phone. But it was Amber's old one, so I restrained myself. Then, out of nowhere, he showed up at Amber's door. No warning, just rang the bell like a maniac. Her dog went ballistic. I peeked through the blinds. He was pacing like a lunatic in his hoodie, mumbling to himself. I told the kids to stay in the back. Amber opened the door. You need to leave. I just want to talk, he said. I deserve that. Not happening, she replied. He shoved the door back open, raised his voice. I stepped forward. If you don't leave, I'm calling your mother. That shut him up. He grumbled something and left, slamming his car door so hard I thought the windows would rattle out of their frames. After that, he went full emotional whiplash. 1 minute it was, let's fix this. The next it was, you're ruining our family. I sent him the photos from the secret phone. Want to see what ruining a family actually looks like? No reply. So I forwarded the ones with her and our kids, just to twist the knife. He tried calling my mom. She didn't answer. He tried my dad, who basically said, I'm not getting involved. I told them both what happened. Mom said, whatever you need, I've got you. Dad just sighed and said, try to keep the kids out of the mess. Then his parents decided to insert themselves. His mom called me with this fake sweet tone, like we were just chatting over tea. Can we sit down and talk things through? She asked. Did you know about Alana? I asked back. That's not the point, she said. Don't keep the kids from us. They're not bargaining chips. She hung up. His dad texted me later, saying he was disappointed in how I was handling things. The next morning, I called the school, asked what their policy was on pickup permissions. They said only people on the approved list. I told them to make sure Hunter couldn't pick the kids up without my say-so. The secretary asked if everything was okay. I said, just some family stuff. She updated the file. Then I asked about Alana. Does anyone named Alana work there? No one by that name, she said. My stomach dropped. So she wasn't even a real TA, just some random woman. I texted a mom friend. She asked around. No one had heard of an Alana. Days blurred together. Hunter's messages shifted from pleading to passive-aggressive to straight-up creepy. One of our mutual friends, Martin, the meme guy, texted me saying Hunter had been telling people I was mentally unstable. I told Martin the truth. He said, wow, didn't expect that. Then quickly added he didn't want to choose sides. Classic. At Amber's, things were chaotic. The kids kept asking when we were going home. I tried to make things feel normal. Pancakes, cartoons, walks. One night, my daughter asked, did Daddy do something bad? I said, grown-up stuff. Not your fault. She shrugged. Can we have waffles tomorrow? Sure, why not? A few days later, I got a surprise message from Kate, Hunter's sister, a long text filled with guilt-tripping. You're tearing the family apart. Hunter's been unhappy for years and you didn't see it. You made him feel small. You never supported him. I almost laughed. I replied, you have no clue what went on in our marriage. She sent a thumbs-down emoji. I blocked her. When I told Amber, she just said, screw them, all of them. That night, Hunter came back. This time, he stood outside yelling from the driveway. I'm not leaving until we talk, Amber called my dad. He was 5 minutes away. When he pulled up, he walked right up to Hunter and said, time to go home, son. You're not getting anywhere like this. Hunter tried to push past him. My dad calmly put a hand on his chest. Not tonight. Hunter shoved his hand away and stormed off. I watched from the window. Angry, but honestly, proud of my dad. That night, I checked the bank again. No funny business. I moved a bit more money to cover the kids' stuff. I texted Hunter. If you need something for the kids, let me know. He replied, I'm not a deadbeat. I wrote back, then prove it. No answer. The strangest part? Some things felt so normal. I was still getting school emails, still packing snacks, still reminding the kids to brush their teeth. But it all felt surreal. Like I was going through the motions in a movie I didn't sign up for. Amber tried to lift my spirits with dumb memes and made me do a face mask with her. We laughed for a minute until my phone buzzed again. Hunter. I muted him. About a week later, the school emailed me. The principal wanted a meeting. I went in, sat across from her desk. She asked if everything was okay at home. "We're separating," I said. "There's been some tension, but the kids are safe." She said, "Your daughter mentioned Miss Alana again. We're a little concerned." I told her no one named Alana worked there, confirmed it with the office. She said they'd keep an eye out. I asked if anyone not on the list had tried to pick up the kids. She said, "Not yet." I left, more creeped out than ever. That night, Hunter came by again. Didn't knock. Just stood outside calling my name. I opened the window. "Go home, or I'm calling your mom." He cursed, hit the window frame, stomped off. After that, his parents started blowing up my phone again. First came the guilt. Let's be reasonable. Then I sent them the photos. "If you want to know what's going on, here's your golden boy." His mom called back crying, "I can't believe he did this." "Believe it," I said. I started wondering, who is Alana really? I searched Facebook. Nothing. Instagram? Nothing. Tried reverse searching pictures. Still nothing. I even looked through tagged photos of my kids. No trace of her. I texted Hunter. "Who is she really?" He replied, "Let it go." I said, "Not a chance." I was tired of waiting for him to act like an adult, so I texted, "If you want to see the kids, set something up through my mom." He replied, "You're making this impossible." I wrote, "You already did that." He sent me an old photo of us with the kids. "Remember when we were happy?" I answered, "You threw that away." Martin, the meme guy, texted again. Said Hunter had been going around telling people I kidnapped the kids and drained our accounts. "Ask him for screenshots," I replied. Martin just sent me a meme of a dumpster fire. I laughed, for the first time in days. So here I am, kids asleep, Amber watching some trashy dating show, me on her laptop typing this all out. I feel stuck, but also like I'm making progress. Hunter's cracking, his family's splintering. I'm not saying I was a perfect wife. I was exhausted, yes, but not cruel. He made me invisible, like I was just some extra in his new fantasy life. Maybe he thinks I'll break, that if he just yells or shows up enough, I'll give in. But that woman? She's gone. This isn't some dramatic ending, it's just reality. He's not quitting, but neither am I. I'm done keeping the peace. I want him to know he lost, and that he did it to himself. If you've made it this far, thanks. Honestly, I didn't expect to still be writing, but it turns out healing is messy and slow, and weirdly public, I guess. The second update came fast because things kept spiraling. It felt like my life had turned into a chaotic mix of reality show drama and awkward family therapy. I was still living at Amber's, and the kids kept asking when we were going home. I was surviving on caffeine and pure rage at that point. First strange thing? My phone battery started draining like crazy. At first, I thought it was because my son kept sneaking it to play games, but then I noticed a bunch of missed calls from random numbers, always late at night. No voicemails, just hang-ups. I blocked one, then another popped up, and another. Amber thought maybe Hunter got people to start calling me. Cowards, I said. None of them even speak. Then, on a random Tuesday, I saw Hunter's car in the grocery store parking lot. He didn't come in, just sat there. I texted him, "Do not follow me." No reply. But later, Amber said he messaged her asking when I was going to be reasonable. The next day, after dropping off the kids and having my coffee, I saw a new friend request on social media, from Alana. Same purple hair, same face from the playground pictures. No mutual friends. Bio full of random emojis. I didn't accept. I just stared at it. 2 hours later, she sent a message. "Hey, can we talk? I swear I didn't know everything." I didn't reply. Then another message. "Not trying to fight. I just want to explain." I showed Amber. "Block her," she said, but I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I replied, "What do you want to say?" She sent a wall of text, said she met Hunter at the gym, of course. At first, he told her we were separated but still living together for the kids. Said I was cold, distant, didn't love him anymore. She claimed she didn't know he was still married until after she met the kids, and by then, she'd already caught feelings. He told me you were okay with it, that you just needed time. I replied, you gave my kids hot chocolate and let them think you were a teacher. That's not innocent. She said, I'm sorry. I believed him. I thought you didn't care. That's when I blocked her. I didn't need woman-to-woman energy. I needed her gone. I took screenshots and sent them to Hunter with a message. Your problem. Not mine. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The next day, I got a group text from Hunter's mom, his dad, and Kate. Can we please have a family meeting? This is getting out of control. The kids are suffering. Kate jumped in immediately. Joanna, you're being spiteful. He's not a bad dad. Let's fix this. I replied, give me one reason I should ever trust him again. Silence. I went about my day. Laundry in the dryer, son asking for pancakes. Amber left a note on the fridge. Don't burn the house down. I opened the fridge, oat milk and leftovers, stared at it like, so this is my life now? My phone buzzed, Hunter calling again. I declined. He called again. I finally answered. What do you want? Let's meet. Just us. Not happening. You owe me that. I owe you nothing. He hung up. Later that day, I picked the kids up from school and saw his car parked a block away. He didn't move, just sat there. I buckled the kids in and left. Then a text. Can I see the kids tomorrow? I replied, set it up through my mom. Why do you keep punishing me? I didn't answer. Next day, I went to the house to grab more stuff, shoes, kids' clothes, random things we'd forgotten. I texted Hunter ahead of time and asked him not to be there. But of course, the second I stepped inside, I heard the back door. He was in the kitchen. I told you not to be here, I said. It's my house, too. Not today. He stepped into the hallway to block me. I pushed past. He grabbed my arm. I slapped his hand away. Don't touch me. I got to the car, still shaking. The kids had waited outside, thankfully. I called Amber. Never again. I'm not going back alone. I'll come with you next time, she said. That night, Alana messaged me again, new account. He's lying to both of us. I'm done. I didn't respond. The next day at the playground, Kate showed up with her kid. She walked over like nothing was wrong. Can we talk? About what? You're making this harder than it needs to be. Hunter's a mess. You're destroying him. He did that on his own. He's your kid's father. Be fair. He can see them when he stops acting like a lunatic. You're always so dramatic. And you're always desperate to fix other people's disasters. At least I don't run from my problems. You run from reality. She stormed off, dragging her kid behind her. I thought that was the end of it. But Hunter hadn't played his final card yet. He showed up. At my job. So there I was, standing in the parking lot after work, earbuds in, waiting for Amber to pick me up. I turned around, and there he was. Hunter. He walked right up to me like this was normal. We need to talk, he said. I pulled out one earbud. Not here. You can't keep dodging me. Watch me. He tried standing in my path, blocking me from walking away. I stepped around him. He grabbed my arm. I shoved him so hard he staggered back. Never touch me again, I snapped. You're making a scene. You're the one causing it, in a parking lot. Amber's car pulled in. She saw what was happening, jumped out. Get in, she said. I climbed in. Hunter tried to get closer, but Amber slammed the door and peeled out like we were in a movie. My hands were shaking, but I laughed. Not because it was funny, just because it all felt so absurd. The next day, I got a call from the school. The principal said there was an incident during pickup. Hunter had tried to take the kids without being on the approved list. When staff stopped him, he argued, caused a scene, eventually left. We're updating the file, the principal said. Only you, Amber, or your mother can pick them up now. Thank you, I said, and I'm so sorry about the drama. Honestly, happens more than you'd think. That night, my mom called. Hunter's parents have been calling me non-stop, she said. Now they're saying they'll go to court for grandparent rights. Let them try, I said. They're just scared. They should be scared. They should have been scared weeks ago. We've got your back. And right after that call, Another group text, this time, Kate, Hunter's mom, Hunter himself. Kate, you're destroying our family. His mom, I can't believe you're doing this to your children. Hunter, hope you're happy. I sent them the screenshots, Hunter's messages to Alana. This is your boy, I wrote. Is he happy? Then I left the chat, blocked all of them. I told Amber, I'm done. She replied, good, about time. I started the paperwork for legal separation. It was slow, messy, expensive, but I didn't care. I messaged Hunter, I'm filing. You'll be served soon. He replied, you're impossible. I said, so are you. He tried calling, yelling, name-calling. I hung up. I knew what came next wouldn't be easy. I knew there'd be whispers, questions, people picking sides. But I wasn't backing down. He wasn't going to rewrite the narrative just because he got caught. Let him vent to his sister. Let him send sob stories to Alana. Let him lurk my socials. I wasn't afraid anymore. Last thing, before this part got too long, my daughter asked me, why is Daddy so mad? I said, he made some choices that hurt people. Now he's upset about the consequences. So we're not going back home? Not yet. Okay, can we have pancakes tomorrow? I smiled. Always. Sometimes it's really that simple. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Legal steps just beginning. Hunter unraveling. I'm not sorry. I'm not softening. I want him to feel everything he made me feel. And then some. Call it petty if you want. I don't care. I'm done being the peacekeeper. I'll update again, whether it's when he gets served or when his family shows up with pitchforks, whichever happens first. Until then, I'm right here, and honestly, thank you for reading. I didn't realize how much I needed to say all of this out loud. I still can't believe this is my real life. Feels like I stumbled into some low-budget Netflix drama where I'm the side character caught in someone else's meltdown. But here we are. I should have known the day would be strange when I woke up to 17 missed calls. Not just from Hunter, but from his mom, Kate, random numbers. Even Martin, the meme guy. Martin's text, yo, Hunter's losing it. I stared at the screen for a second and thought, is he going to show up at Amber's again? I told Amber. She sighed. If he does, I'm setting Home Alone-style traps. For a few days, things had been quiet. Too quiet, and in my world, that meant a storm was coming. I had already started divorce proceedings. Slow and expensive, but I wasn't backing down. My parents were helping with the kids, making sure I remembered to eat. Finally, I got the go-ahead from my lawyer to go back to the house and collect the rest of our things. So we packed up, me, Amber, my dad, and the kids. I let the kids stay in the car with their tablets. I didn't want them to see the mess. The house was silent, empty in a weird, unsettling way. The kitchen looked untouched. No groceries, dishes in the sink, a single moldy mug. Amber and I moved quickly, packed up clothes, toys, and the little things that felt important. My dad made trips to the car without saying much. Then I saw it. An envelope on the dining table. Just my name on it. Inside, divorce papers. Already signed by Hunter. I didn't expect to feel much. I was already in the process myself. But seeing his signature, it hit different, like he finally stopped pretending he was the victim. There was a sticky note on top. You ruined everything. Hope you're happy. I almost laughed. I put it back in the envelope and zipped it into my bag. Then, right on cue, we heard a car door slam. Hunter. He stormed up the driveway yelling, "You can't take everything!" Amber stepped in front of me. Not today. He tried to push past her, but my dad was already there. "This is my house!" Hunter shouted. "Not for long," I replied. "You're doing this just to hurt me." "No, you did this to yourself." He reached for me. I slapped his hand away. "You're insane!" "You're pathetic." Amber stepped between us. "Back off." "You made me do this." "You made your own choices." We drove off. That night I moved into my parents' spare room. The Wi-Fi sucked, the bathroom door stuck, but the kids were safe. And I finally slept. Next morning, pancakes. My son asked, "Can we go home now?" "We are home," I said. Then things ramped up again. Hunter started calling, constantly. When I didn't pick up, he switched to texting. "You're breaking this family. You're making a mistake. You'll regret this." I blocked him. He found another number, then started texting my mom, my dad, even Amber. "You're poisoning my kids. You've turned everyone against me." His mom texted, "He's not eating, not sleeping. He says he can't go on like this." I told her, if he wants to see the kids go through the legal process, no more ambushes. She said, "You're being cruel." I said, "Ask your son why we're here." Then one weekend, Hunter showed up at my parents' house, stood on the porch, texted, "I can see you inside. Let me in. I just want to see the kids." My dad opened the door. "Not today, Hunter." Hunter pushed past him, yelling, "You're all against me." I stood up. "Leave or I'll call the police." "This is my family." "You gave that up when you brought someone else into it." He slammed his hand on the table. My mom didn't flinch. "Don't break my table." He looked at her, then at me, then back at my dad. "Don't make me say it again," my dad warned. Hunter stormed out. My daughter asked if Daddy was mad. "He's upset, but it's not your fault." "Are we going home?" "This is home. For now." The next few days, Hunter went quiet. Then the legal papers started rolling in. He wanted joint custody, the house, the car. I laughed, sent him screenshots of his texts to Alana. "Good luck explaining this." "You're heartless," he replied. "You're reckless," I shot back. The court hearing was brutal. Not dramatic, just long and humiliating. His lawyer painted me as unstable. Mine brought up the second phone, the texts, the unauthorized school pickup. Hunter looked furious the whole time. Kate glared at me. His mom avoided eye contact. My parents sat behind me, still and strong. 2 weeks later, I heard Hunter was living in a downtown apartment. Martin told me he'd been couch surfing first, crying about how I took everything. No one's buying it anymore. Even Kate's gone quiet. Alana? No one's mentioned her again. I stopped caring. Money's tight, but we're okay. My parents help. Amber fills the gaps. I'm looking for a new apartment. My daughter drew a picture of our family. It was me, her brother, grandma, and grandpa. That was it. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. No perfect bow, no inspirational ending. Just peace. I'm not stronger. I'm not healed. But I'm not broken. I didn't let him rewrite the story. I fought back. And if that makes me the villain in his version of events, fine. I'd rather be the villain than the doormat ever again. I don't know what's next, but I know it won't include him. If you've read this far, thank you. And, Hunter, I know you're still watching. You lost. Maybe my next update will be about something small and boring, like finally finding an apartment with decent Wi-Fi. But for now, I'm out. And if anyone's got a wild story about what an ex texted them, drop it below. I could use a laugh.